What is up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to my channel and thanks for coming back for round 2 of me trying to record this thing and not say every 3 seconds and edit that out. That really sucked, just so you all know. Anyways, super excited about the topic that we're going to be talking about today. Look, I already said what can you... Anyways, it's going to be a beginner's guide to the gym. I've had a lot of people come up to me since they've seen me on my fitness journey asking how I started, what resources I used. I personally started off with a coach, so that helped me a ton, but I know that's not realistic for everybody. They're super expensive. So I kind of have some basic things that I'm going to be talking about today to hopefully help anybody out who's just starting out with the gym. I do have my little notepad to keep me on track today, so if you see me looking down, that would be why. And you might see a cat tail floating around. He's hanging about, wanting to be famous. So anyways, let's get into it. Thing number 1 about starting at the gym is you need to have a goal. That is the most important thing, because your goal is going to set the stage for how you go to the gym and what kind of workouts you do. So for example, if your goal is to lose weight, you're going to probably be doing more cardio and you're going to be in a caloric deficit compared to if you want to gain muscle. You would be in a surplus, hopefully, otherwise at least maintenance calories, and you wouldn't be doing as much cardio. The reason I say that, just the short of it, is because cardio ends up breaking down muscle. So if you're trying to build muscle, it's really, really difficult to kind of throw cardio into that whole mix. There is a thing called newbie gains, or whatever you want to call it. So there is this kind of phenomenon that when you just first start going to the gym, like when you very first start out and you start lifting weights, even if you're doing cardio, you're going to gain muscle mass because you're simply introducing this resistance training to your body that it has not ever encountered before, and because of that, you're going to gain muscle. That kind of changes as you go to the gym more, but if you're trying to just start in the gym, I would strongly recommend choosing one path you want to take. If you want, you can first lose some body fat and then work on gaining muscle, but I didn't do that, to be honest with you. What I did is I tried to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. Now, it's not that it wasn't successful. I did gain muscle for sure and I lost a lot of fat. However, my bikini competition made me see that maybe that wasn't the best route for me. When I dieted down for my competition, I noticed, especially in relation to a lot of the other girls that were there, I was tiny. I was very, very small. So it kind of just goes to show that the science, it's true. If you're trying to build muscle, it's better if you can just stick straight to that goal rather than trying to do two things at once, if that makes sense. One of the most important things for me that helped me lose a lot of weight was honestly just portion control and size. I didn't really realize what a real portion size of a lot of the things I was eating was. So I personally tracked macros when I was in my competition prep, and before that I was tracking macros for about a year and a half or so. That worked very well for me, and it was very realistic because you can still have little bits and things of the things that you want, like frozen yogurt. I literally eat frozen yogurt every night. It's perfect. You can have things that you want without feeling guilty about it because you're still going to be able to work towards your goal. Now, I do plan on making a video about this in the future, about how to track your macros and flexible dieting, so I'm not going to delve too far into it. Some people think it's too complicated and they don't want to weigh out their food and all that stuff, which is totally fine. There's also, you can count your calories. Now, especially for gaining muscle mass, macros, I personally think, are the optimal way to go because they are more specific to your goals and your body composition. They will help you reach the body that you want. If you just want to lose some weight, that's totally fine, no big deal. In that situation, calorie tracking would be quite beneficial. You don't have to track your food, honestly. If you don't want to track your food when you go to the gym, that's totally fine. It's a whole nother level that adds a lot of stress. But just know you're probably not going to be able to reach your goals as fast as you would if you were watching what you're eating. Important point number 3 I want to talk about, there's a lot of resources out there that you can go to if you can't afford to go to a coach and have a personalized training plan. So I've talked about it before. Badass Training They have a lot of programs, and they're actually starting this new super exciting, it's called Thrive for 5. So every month on the 5th, they are going to be releasing a $5 workout program that you can use, which is super exciting, super affordable, especially for like students. So that's a very good resource I think you guys can check out to kind of get a workout plan going. There's also a lot of other famous YouTubers in the fitness industry, like Emily Duncan. She has her own website as well, and she has a few for sale. 2 of them are, one's a full body, 2 of them are upper body, I think. Another resource that I really recommend to everybody is bodybuilding.com. Seriously, like the best thing ever. If you don't know how to do a specific exercise or how to do even specific stretches, if you just Google anything, the first thing that pops up is probably going to be from bodybuilding.com. And their pages, they have pictures and a video of models doing the exercise, as well as they'll have like a diagram of like the body and which muscle that the exercise is working out, and they'll have like a step-by-step guide on how to do that specific exercise. So it's like the best thing ever. It's totally free. Thing number 5 I want to talk about is how to track your progress. So I said thing number 5, but I meant thing number 4. If you weren't paying attention, shame on you. This is kind of based on personal preference, I would say. One thing you want to do is get a scale. That's kind of one of the most universal ways people track their progress, especially if they're just trying to lose body fat. The overall trend is that your weight is going down. Just know that from week to week, your weight might not consistently go down, and that's totally normal. It's going to be fluctuations. Don't freak out. There's so many different reasons why your weight can spike up a little bit from day to day. So don't panic if your weight is up on one of the times that you're weighing yourself. And I highly recommend not to weigh yourself every day, especially for that reason. Taking pictures is honestly like one of the best ways to track your progress, because pictures don't lie. Honestly, that's the case in point. And honestly, do them in your underwear. I know that sounds crazy. Just do them in a bathing suit or your underwear, because you're going to see the most progress that way. You'll be able to feel the difference in your clothes yourself. That's another way to track your progress. But when you're naked, you look a lot different, and everyone knows that. I can look really good in one shirt, but if I take my shirt off after eating a cake, maybe I'm a little bit bloated underneath that shirt because I wore a flowy shirt that day because I knew I was going to eat an entire cake. You know what I mean? Taking the pictures in a bathing suit or your underwear once a week or once a month, and just like look to see, because you won't see any differences when you look in the mirror, because you look at yourself every single day. But if you compare your before picture and your after picture, you're going to see you've made a lot of changes, and that honestly just motivates you so much more. Another way of tracking your progress that most people don't necessarily think about is just checking in with how you're feeling, well-being overall, even mentally how you're feeling. If you just feel happier in general, those are great things that you are progressing in because of your new physical activity. Number 6 is workout gear. So it seems like the fitness industry is blowing up so much right now, and it seems like you need to have your Beats by Dre in order to go in the gym, and you need to have a lifting belt and lifting straps and wrist straps and all this stuff. Honestly, all you need is yourself and even some like cheap Walmart workout gear. You don't need much at all. I personally need my headphones. I don't have Beats by Dre. I just have headphones that came with my iPod that I use. They work fine. You don't need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get like decked out in workout gear. And especially like lifting belts and all that stuff. When you're first starting out, you should really focus on proper form and not use all these extra accessories, because especially lifting belts, if you aren't used to using proper form and you just start by using the belt, you're not going to be able to do the lift properly without that extra accessory, because you haven't trained your body how to deal with that extra weight without having that extra accessory helping you along, if that makes sense. Before you start your workout, it is super important to start stretching. And I am so guilty of this. I avoided stretching like the plague when I first started lifting, because it was just another thing that was taking up time in the gym and I didn't care that much. But honestly, you guys, like, it changes your life, it changes your lifts, it changes like everything. I definitely think now the reasons why I am progressing so well with the program that I'm on, the power building program I'm on, is because I've started stretching beforehand. And there's a big difference in the stretches I do before my workouts and the stretches I do after my workouts. I'm gonna try to insert some clips throughout my talking here. Hopefully it works out. If not, maybe I'll put them at the end. I don't really know. We'll kind of see how this goes. But so the stretching that you're going to be doing before your lifts is called dynamic stretching. Now, dynamic stretching is stretching your body, but you're not doing it in a stagnant way. So you are constantly moving and opening up the muscles and warming them up. A lot of people will use like 5 or 10 minutes of cardio to warm up their body, which, okay, fine, like I understand, like it warms up your temperature of your body, but cardio, especially if you think about it, right, like you're on the Stairmaster, you're not warming up your upper body especially, you're just maybe warming up your quads and your hamstrings. Like you're not really opening up your hip flexors, you're not opening up your back and your shoulders. Your shoulders especially are super important because they are so prone to injury. So one of the things that I do before I start my lifts is I swing my legs back and forth and side to side, and that just warms up the muscle and gets everything moving, gets the blood going to those muscles. I make sure that I use resistance bands to open up my back muscles. I'm constantly moving. That's the most important thing. You're constantly moving because honestly, like if you're just doing the static stretching, it's actually gonna cause you to be more prone to injury. I know that sounds weird, but your muscle is not warmed up and you're trying to rip it like open essentially. If you think about it that way, like it's not going to be beneficial towards you, and your muscle is actually going to be really angry with you if you keep doing that. So don't do that. Start with dynamic stretching before your lifts, and it's going to make your lifts go so much better. Your muscles are going to be way looser, they're going to be warmed up, and your whole body is going to be warmed up, not just like specific muscles that you use to warm up during cardio. So that's my biggest recommendation, honestly, is to start your workouts with dynamic stretching. At the end of your workout, static stretching is super important. Your muscles are already warmed up, they've already been moving, you just need to stretch them out. The lactic acid in those muscles is going to build up and it's going to cause you to have muscle soreness. Now, if you stretch them out a little bit, it's going to help with that muscle soreness. So in these clips you'll see me, I'm doing some static stretching. I'm also foam rolling. Now foam rolling really sucks, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, like it really sucks, it hurts. But especially for me, I talked in my last video that I had a previous car accident and it affected my lower back, and my left glute is actually like the worst. Like because it tries to compensate for my back muscles, so it tightens up and it has all these horrible knots in them. Now that affects my squat as well. So I need to make sure that I roll out any extra knots that I'm getting, and I need to make sure that both my glute muscles especially are not tight. Like if my left glute is tighter than my right glute, it's going to affect my lifts. It's going to affect how much my form is good or bad. If I'm squatting, for example, and my left glute is way tighter, my right glute's gonna try to compensate for the left glute, which is compensating for my back. So it's kind of like this vicious cycle, but by doing all these stretches before and after your workout and foam rolling, it helps so much. Okay, you guys, so wrapping up, I just have some important things for you guys to remember. Number one, no one at the gym is watching you. I know that's such a big concern for a lot of people starting out. Honestly, no one's watching you. Most of the people in the gym, they want to help you. If you have questions, just go up to somebody and ask them, or even just like the front desk person at the gym that you're at, just go to them and ask for help because they're so willing to help you guys out. They would rather help you and see you doing an exercise properly than see you doing it improperly and hurt yourself. You need to train yourself when you start with your lifts. You need to do everything with proper form. If that means you need to drop your weight to do it in a proper form, drop your ego and drop the weight, because there's nothing worse than hurting yourself because you were doing the lifting properly and you just wanted to look macho by deadlifting 10 pounds more. Honestly, just drop your ego, leave it at the door. Nobody cares. They just want to make sure you're doing everything safely, and you should want to make sure that you're doing everything safely for yourself as well. And the last tip I want to say is when you're looking at a workout program, try to make sure that you find one that has a variety of different movements in it. So you want your compound lifts, the ones that use more than one muscle group. So your squat, deadlift, bench press, and isolation movements have such great benefits as well. If you have a workout program that combines all these different types of movements, it's going to be the most beneficial to you. So kind of keep an eye on that when you're looking at a program that you want to start, or if you're going to start making a program for yourself. Okay, you guys, so that's kind of the end of the video for now. I hope you guys learned something new. I'm going to be having more in-depth topics about some of the stuff I've talked about today in different videos. I just didn't want this video to get too long. If you think that this video was awesome and you learned something, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, share this video with your friends and family if you think that they would benefit from this information as well. I have my social medias linked down below, so if you want to find me on there, you can totally find me on my Twitter and my Instagram. I've just started using Twitter again. I don't know if I'm going to be on it that much. We'll kind of see how it goes. I'm more on Instagram than anything. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'm always open to any feedback, so comment down below if you have any for me. Thank you so much, guys.